What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with my very first PSA grade return. I am so unbelievably excited about this. This feels like Christmas. I cannot wait. Now, I have no idea how to open this thing. Derium said to just hack away at it and saw, and then peel stuff out, but I don't want to damage these cards. I am very excited. Kids, don't try this at home. Okay, so we have here, I don't know, what do we got in this pack? We've got like 14 cards that I've got graded. This is my very first submission. I've been talking about it for weeks, and I cannot wait to see what I got on these. A lot of these are from my very own collection. I've got some Charizards in here. I've got some Blastoises in here. As I go through, I am going to be pulling up the pop reports as well. If you check out psacard.com, they have all of the populations of every card that they grade listed on their website so that you can see how many PSA 10s exist, how many PSA 9s exist of every single specific card, so on and so forth. So let's see what we got going on here already. Got my stack. Derium told me that there was going to be, some papers that I would just pull out. All that, throw to the side. Okay, and here we go. Made quite a mess. All right, got a little insert there. All right, make sure we get all of this cleaned out. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see what we've got here. My very first PSA graded return video. So let's see what card we have here on the front. We've got a first edition Dark Charizard. This was a card that I pulled myself. This is the non-holographic version. Since I submitted this, I have also come into a holographic version of this card as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it graded yet. It's in good shape, but I don't know if it's a 10. This is going to be a learning experience for me too. I don't exactly know, what kind of shape cards have to be in to get what kind of grade. So this is definitely going to be first time out, hoping to get everything between 8 and 10. That's kind of like what the goal is here on my very first go. So, Dark Charizard, we've got ourselves a 9. That is awesome. Mint condition. Excellent, excellent, excellent. If we go over to the pop report of this card, let's see how many. It says there are 216 PSA 9s and 199 PSA 10s. So pretty even there on the submissions, but still a beautiful card, mint condition. And I would have guessed that this would have been a 9 or a 10 myself. I think on a lucky day, maybe I would have gotten a 10, but definitely satisfied with a 9 on that. Awesome seeing that mint condition there. And since this is a card that I pulled myself, definitely an awesome hit for my own collection. So very, very cool. All right. So up next, we have got a first edition Lugia. I love this card. This is such a cool collector piece. Was able to find this at In the Zone Games. Picked it up. Thought it was in pretty good shape. I mean, you can see the corners there. Super nice. Very minty. We've got an 8. Okay, very cool. Says near mint condition. I was hoping this would have been a 10, but that's okay. Really, the back is beautiful on this card. I'm interested as to know I guess the surface on the hollow might have a few hairline scratches as well. Maybe it is a little less than perfect centered. I think there's a little bit of miscut maybe on the top as opposed to the bottom, but still a beautiful card, near mint condition, an excellent addition to my collection there. Definitely stoked on that. If we look at the pop report on this card, it says there are 200 PSA 8s and there are 200 PSA 9s of this card. We head on over to the population. I want to see how many 10s there are of the first edition Lugia there. How many 10s are there? I'm still learning how to use their website, so excuse me. I don't know. I'm gonna have to just the pop report really just gives you. Let's see. It says there are maybe 35 10s, which is pretty wild. Okay, yeah, so there are 35 10s, so not that many. Man, I would love to get this card in a 10, but 8, definitely awesome. Definitely a great addition to the collection there, so we'll put that in the 8 slot. All right, and moving right along. Let's see what do we have next? Next, we've got one of my two first edition Blaine Charizards. Oh my gosh, I love this card. So cool. And I bought two of them, hoping to swing for the fences here and get a 10. What do we have on the first one? We've got an 8. Oh, right. First edition. I mean, this is the one. Yeah, I submitted two. One of them had a little hit in the top left corner, so I wasn't sure how much that was going to affect the grade. Actually, it looks like it's got a little bit of whitening down here at the bottom as well. So I think like that's okay. That's to be expected. An 8 on this version of the card is totally fine. It's a near mint shape. Definitely a beautiful, beautiful card, and excited to have it in this excellent display case. So that is awesome. I'll check the pop report after we open this next one. This should also be a Blaine's Charizard. See what we've got here. And it's a 9. All right, so a little bit better than my 8. This is beautiful. If we check out the back, it does actually have a little bit of hits on the bottom and the top right. I didn't remember those when I was submitting it, but now that I'm looking at it a little bit closer, I see why this card was graded a 9. I was considering cracking some of these and sending them back, but this one in particular, I see why it was graded a 9, so I think I'll just keep it sealed this way. And, you know, some of them, you never know. If the 9 is close, if you feel like it's borderline, maybe it was like a 9.5, and it just happened to lean one way over the other, you know, you could send it back and see what they would do on a regrade if you really felt like it was borderline. But I definitely see why this one did receive a 9. We got hits in the top left and or the top right and the bottom left here. So awesome card though. I love this thing. It's beautiful Charizard. Let's see, what do I got here on the pop report? How many 9s are there and how many 10s? There are 230 PSA 9s of this card and 194 10s. So good to know there. It's cool to just be one of the 200 of this card that exists, PSA graded 9. So awesome hit there. Very, very excited about that. All right. So up next, we have got a Brock's Ninetales. This is a card from my own collection. I actually had this card in a deck for a little while, but then I was like, hey, it's a beautiful Ninetales, and it's actually a collectible card. Ninetales is a very collectible Pokemon. Love the Brock's Ninetales card, and just the ability is super cool. Shapeshift, love playing this in old decks. What do we get? Got a 9, another 9. Oh, I am thirsty for a 10, guys. I am definitely excited for 10. This one is actually probably in better shape than both of the Charizards. We've got a little tiny bit of whitening down here in this corner and up there, but really it is in pristine shape. You can check for yourself. This card is beautiful. So I could see, you know, potentially sending this one back to try again. The corners are a little funky. You got this one's like a hard corner. This one's a very rounded corner. I don't know if these things affect the grade at all. This is all a learning process for me, but this was a card that was in my own collection. So I was interested just to see what it would get, and a 9 is definitely a fair grade. Beautiful first edition card. Nonetheless, let's check out the pop report on this thing. See how many of this beautiful card exist. There are 117 PSA 9s and 134 PSA 10s. So one of the roughly 250 9s or 10s. Very, very cool there. Love the Brock's Ninetale card. Another addition to the 9s that I've got from my order so far. All right. Let's see, what do we got up next? We've got a Shining Gyarados. Now, I had no idea what I was going to get on this one because it actually has a little bit of silvering on the front here, and on the back it's got a little bit of a ding as well. But we've got an 8. I'm actually excited about an 8 on this card because I was worried that it might be less. It's also a little bit of miscut. You can see that it is like kind of miscut higher on the top than it is on the bottom. On the back here, it's actually got this little ding right there. You can kind of see that little indent in the card when I show the glare there. It's got that little ding there, so it's good to know that that didn't totally tank the value of the card or the value of the grade as well. Definitely satisfied with an 8 on this thing. Beautiful card. Love the artwork on it. Just I think it's so cool. The Shining Gyarados with the fisherman in the boat there. Super, super cool. Let's see how many. The pop report says there are 62 8s, 228 9s. I'm interested to see maybe how many 10s there are. Let's see if I can find it relatively quickly. Let's see, Shining Gyarados. There are 55 10s. So that is pretty elite club of 10s on this card. Only 55, and I am one of the 62 8s. A lot of 9s, 165 9s. So very, very cool there. Love this thing. I think it's a beautiful addition to the collection, and happy to have it. All right, up next, this is one of my Japanese cards. I submitted 2 Japanese cards here back to back, you can see, and this is another Shining Gyarados. This one is much more valuable. You can see it's got that like kind of fireworks star hollow there. Looks absolutely stunning in person. It's just absolutely amazing. Love the holograph on this thing. This card is at a 9 or a 10 is just very valuable. It's a $100 card ungraded, but a 9 or a 10 easily doubles or up to like can get up to be like a $600 card if it is a 10. And we've got a 9 on it. Man, I thought this could have been a 10, but that's okay. Looking at the corners are beautiful. I think if there was any card that I might send back, we might send this one back. I really expected this one to be a 10, and I feel like it might be borderline, but perhaps there was something that I was missing. I'm not the original owner of this card, so under a light or, intense scrutiny, there could be some more surface level scratches that I was not aware of. Otherwise, I think that the hollow on this thing's gorgeous. The card is absolutely beautiful, still absolutely stunning, and at a 9, I am still doubling up on the value of the card just by hitting a 9 there. Getting that mint condition stamp feels excellent on this Japanese Shining Gyarados. We checked the pop report. Interested to see how many 9s and 10s there are. There are 62 9s and 228 10s. You're telling me, oh my goodness, Japanese cards tend to grade so high all the time. They are printed so well, so centered. The corners are so crisp, and I am one of the 62 sad people to get a 9 and 228 enjoying their 10 spot there. So sad, 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 but maybe we'll send that one back and see how we do. Now, up next, I know that I only submitted 2 Japanese cards, and this one has got to be my Mewtwo, Shining Mewtwo. Love this thing. Beautiful artwork. I was a little bit concerned about this card because it's got a little bit of a swipe on the back, I think, that could have affected the grade, but we'll see what we got. We got an a 9. Oh my gosh. I was expecting an 8 on this thing. That is awesome. Man, I am actually totally satisfied with the 9 on this. It actually is a little bit miscut. You see that red square is not exactly centered. It is a little bit lower than it should be. And then I remember there was also kind of like a surface level scratch potentially on the lower end of this card. Excited to see it still get a 9, that mint condition stamp. Looking awesome. Let's take a look at the pop report on the Shining Mewtwo, see what we got here. It says there are 50 9s for this Japanese Mewtwo, and there are 32 10s. So I would love to get a 10 on this thing, but I'm not sure if this is one that I'll be sending back in. I'm just excited to have a 9 on it, to be honest. And it just is a beautiful card. Love it. Another great addition to my high stack of 9s. Will Andrew get a 10? Stay tuned. All right. So up next, we have got a Dark Alakazam. This is another one from my own personal collection, first edition. I'm working on my own first edition collection of Team Rockets, and this is one of the hollows that I need. So this is one of the cards, I guess, that will be helping me to complete that. We've got a 9, another 9, but that's okay. I actually kind of expected a 9 on this one. I think there's very... No, man, those corners are good. Those corners are super sharp, actually. If you take a look at that, there is like almost nothing wrong with that card. I'm actually a little bit surprised. Maybe it is a little miscut. Maybe the corners are a little bit wonky. I'm still trying to figure out. That corner there is like a little oddly rounded as opposed to the other 3 corners, which are a little more crisp. It does appear centered, though. I could have definitely seen a 10 on this card. Let's take a look at the pop report, see how many 9s and 10s exist. It says there are 322 9s and 139 10s. So they are apparently pretty strict on the differentiation between 9 and 10 on this card. Nonetheless, still super stoked on a 9 there. Getting that mint condition stamp definitely feels good. Love it. Of course, though, still hoping for a 10. Up next, we've got one of the 3 base set Blastoises that I sent in. So we're just going to work through these pretty quick. I was hoping for 10s, but honestly, I have no idea what I'm getting. Got an 8 on this one, and that's okay. 8, still near mint. I see there's a little bit of whitening on one of the corners. I was kind of just sending these in to see how strict the grading system is. I really had no idea what I was going to end up getting on these Blastoises. Take a look at the population. It says there are 532 8s. There are 1,282 9s. So this is a card that gets graded a lot, and that's okay. And it says that there are, let's see, 234 10s. So not actually a lot of 10s on the market. It seems to be very, very 9 heavy. In fact, there are twice as many 8s as there are 10s. So there are a lot of lower end grades on this card as well. Near mint still feels pretty good though, and I cannot complain. I actually might end up listing these on my Etsy store. I think the Blastoises would just look super cool, like signed. I have 3 of them, so we may end up listing those on the Etsy store. We will see. All right, let's check this out. Another Blastoise, and we've got an 8, back-to-back 8s. Very cool there, near mint. I'm just excited that I have not gotten a 7 yet. This one's got some pretty significant a hit there in the top left, so I definitely see why it received an 8. That seems definitely justified on that one. No complaints there. Very cool. Another 8, and can we go 3 for 3? What are we going to get on the last one here? We've got an 8. Yep, 3 for 3. Hat tricks there on the Blastoise base sets. Very, very cool. I mean, this is a card that, it's a $20 card. And graded at an 8, it's probably a $50, $60 card. So that's pretty cool. At a 9, we're talking more like $100. And at a 10, it's like a $500 card. So, the population for 10s on this card is very low, which is why I decided to kind of swing for the fences and send 3 away, see if I could get lucky and score a 10. Now, actually, I lied. I'd said I only submitted 2 Japanese cards. There's actually a third, and this one is from my own personal collection. It's this holographic Price's Sneasel. This is not a very expensive card. It's only $10, but I love this thing. It's e-reader, it's holographic, and it's Sneasel. Sneasel is stealing eggs from a nest. I just think this is such a sick card. And oh, it's a 10. We've got our very first 10. Check that out. Beautiful. This one is great. I mean, this card is for me. It's not for sale. This is one I was just going to just to keep for my own personal collection. I love Sneasel. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, and I am so excited about this. This is amazing. I'm so excited that I at least got 1 10 in my first PSA opening. That is fantastic. Look at that. Why does it cost a water energy? I never really noticed that, but that is super cool. That, I don't know. Oh, because it's an ice Pokemon. That makes sense. Okay. Very, very cool there. Love that Price's Sneasel. PSA 10. Could not be happier about that. Love it, love it, love it. I mean, I don't think that there's actually a lot of these that have been graded. I remember checking the pop report before. So let's see, on the Price's Sneasel, how many are there? There are 38 10s. So that's 1 of 38 that exist. I've got it. Very, very cool to know. And on the final card, ooh, we've got the reverse hollow electrode. This one is for Natalie. She has an electrode collection, and we had picked this card up for her just because it's a beautiful, what is this, the Legendary Collection? I think the Legendary Collection reverse hollow, and just an awesome card. I mean, you got that firework pattern, such a unique and rare card. We wanted to get it graded, and we've got a 9. That is an awesome addition to her collection as well. I was not expecting a 10 on this. I knew it was good, but I didn't think it was perfect. So definitely stoked on that, and cool with the 9 grade. That is accurate. So awesome hit there, and an amazing set of pulls all together. I cannot believe how awesome this was. I got all 8s, 9s, and 10s, so that is fantastic. Definitely stoked on that. The only card that I wish I could have done better on is perhaps that Shining Gyarados there. Really anticipating a 10 on that, but we got an 8. Definitely can't complain. So cool stuff there. Tons of rare vintage cards that we were able to get graded. this round. Now, I have another set of amazing vintage cards that we're going to be getting graded here in the future, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Let us know, what do you guys think of the return of PSA graded returns in the comments below. Make sure to check out psacard.com and check out their membership offerings. You can join their membership. You can get your own cards graded and submitted for grading that way. Their system is totally awesome, and I completely recommend it. They have a gold member club as well, which you could check out. So make sure to check out psacard.com. We're going to check out the pop reports if you want to see how many of each card, if you're interested in a specific card and just want to see what the population is of that card and how many 10s there are out there, how many 9s, how many 8s. All that info is on psa.com as well, and I'll leave those links in the description below for you all to scope out. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching the video. I've got my 10, my very first 10. I can't believe it, and I am so unbelievably excited and thankful for this opportunity. So make sure to like the video, share the video with your friends, make sure to comment, subscribe, ring that bell. Peace.